everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video I will be talking about 10 books that I want to read ASAP. So normally I kind of do this type of video in like November where I talk about all of the books that I kind of want to cram in before the end of the year. But recently I have been very inspired to read books from my TBR shelf. I just really want to read physical books. So far I have been doing a very good job of it, which you'll obviously see in my April wrap up, but I have been doing pretty good and I'm very proud of myself and I want to keep going. So I thought I would just talk about 10 books. It's actually 7 physical books and 2 ebooks. Actually no, 3 ebooks that I want to read like as soon as possible. Basically this is kind of like my TBR for the rest of the month and also kind of May, but I don't really ever make TBR videos because I never fully follow them. But I'm hoping that if I make this type of video, I'm more held accountable to actually read these books. And they are ones that I really want to read and I really want to knock off of my TBR shelf. So hopefully I can get to them. I actually wanted to put more on this list, but then it kind of felt like I was just talking about all of the books on my TBR shelf. If you want a tour of what my to be read bookshelf looks like, I will link it down below. These are the ones that I definitely want to get to within the next month or so. Let's hope I can do it. I'm fingers crossed. I got this. So there's no particular order for any of these. I'm just going to kind of go through them. So the first one is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer Armentrout. This is actually a new release by her. It is, I'm assuming, self-published, I think. I'm waiting to order physical copy because I hate reading like fantasy on my Kindle. I really don't like it. I'm waiting to order a copy from Amazon, but obviously Amazon is not prioritizing books, which is very valid, and I'm trying not to order from Amazon in general right now, and it's not really available anywhere else for me. I was hoping it would be available on Indigo, but sadly it's not, so I'm just gonna wait it out. But I really want to read this. From what I know, it's a new adult fantasy romance. I love Jennifer Armentrout, so I'm sure I will love this book. I know a lot of people have been giving it like 5 stars and I'm really excited. I actually don't know the plot of it, but I feel like I kind of want to go into it blind. So hopefully I enjoy this one and hopefully I can order a copy soon. The next one I have on my list is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I recently hauled this in my March book haul and I just really want to read this. I have heard pretty good things. I've heard that this book is very like unsettling and kind of uncomfortable, but I mean, I read dark romance, so I don't think anything in this book is really gonna surprise me. One of you guys told me that it kind of had Lolita references and stuff like that, which Lolita is my favorite classic ever. I love it so much. I can't wait to read this. I think I'm actually really gonna enjoy this, even though the conversation is really uncomfortable and scary. I'm still really excited to read this. I desperately need to read Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. I am so surprised that I have not been spoiled on this. Please don't spoil me in the comments. I love Cassandra Clare and I always end up enjoying her books, but it's just like the total like oomph to read this. It's always so scary. I'm just kind of scared I'm not gonna love it as much as her other books, which is a weird thing to say, but I hope that these characters changed my mind from what I read in Ghosts of the Shadow Market, because in that book I wasn't really sold on some of the characters. So hopefully this book sells me on some of the characters. I hope I love this. I'm kind of scared I won't, so I think that's why I haven't dived into it, but I need to do it. I need to do it as soon as possible. The next one on my list is an ebook, and that is The Kingmaker by Kennedy Ryan. I've heard amazing things about this duology. I know that she has a newer release called Queen Move that I think kind of ties, I don't think they tie together, but maybe it's like a secondary character has their own story. But I've heard nothing but amazing things about The Kingmaker, so I really want to read it. I actually have no idea what it's about. I do know that there's an age gap, I think, and that it involves business, maybe rival families. PSA, I don't really know much about any of these books I'm talking about, because I personally like to go into books not knowing very much at all. I'm sorry I'm not really giving you guys summaries of what the books are about. It's because I genuinely don't really know, and I'm just that type of reader. I will read the summary once, put it on my TBR, and I'll never reread the synopsis until I actually read the book. So I don't know much about any of these, and I'm sorry. I am very excited about The Kingmaker, and I hope I will read it soon, because I know everybody loves her books. I think I've read 3 of her older books, and I didn't really enjoy them. But I mean, I've heard amazing things about this duology. I've heard amazing things about like her sports romances, so I need to read more by this author. Speaking of another author I need to read more from, Mariana Zapata. I desperately want to read The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. I just get so intimidated by her books because they're so big, and I know it's going to take me like a whole day to read them. I keep putting her books off, but I really want to read this one. I think I wanted to read this before the end of last year as well, and I never got to it. So fingers crossed I can do it in the next month or so. Then I would love to get to Say You Still Love Me by K.A. Tucker. This would be like literally my last K.A. Tucker book that I'd have to read. Like I would have read all of her books. I think this is going to be like a really cute, simple read. I believe it is a second chance romance. I think it's 2 timelines, like current timeline and then the timeline when they were children and they were at camp and fell in love, I think. Very curious about this one. I haven't heard good things about this one necessarily. I've heard like decent things, but I really enjoy K.A. Tucker's writing and her stories and her characters, so I'm sure I'll enjoy this one. The next one I have on my list is a YA, and that is Save the Date by Morgan Matson. I loved her other book, The Unexpected Everything. I like almost gave that book 5 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I don't know why I've been putting this off. I've literally had it since it came out, and I still haven't read it. It came out like, I want to say 3 years ago, and I haven't read it yet for some strange reason. I think because I heard mediocre things about it as well. This came out in 2018. It is signed, which is cool. I'm pretty sure this takes place over a weekend at a wedding. I really want to read this though. I think I'm gonna like it, hopefully. I'm literally gonna be saying like, I really want to read it, I really want to read it, because I mean I do, that's why I'm making this video. The next one I have is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. Mahurin? I actually don't think I've ever heard anybody say their last name before. I will have to look that up. This I'm excited to read, obviously. All I know is that it is about witches, I think. It's a fantasy, YA fantasy. I'm pretty sure there's like an arranged marriage or marriage of convenience, maybe. I've just heard that everybody loves this and that it's kind of like almost new adultish or like older YA, so I want to give this a shot. I actually kind of have an idea for a video with this one, so I might do that. I might actually do some sort of challenge video. Who knows? Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, this video is really pointless because I'm just telling you guys books I really want to read. The next one I have is Rebel by Marie Lu. Really want to get to this. This is kind of a continuation of the Legend series trilogy. I've heard really good things about this. I've heard that this is a very great conclusion to the series and kind of like more of a proper ending, I guess. I recently heard that Marie Lu did a podcast or something, and she said that her original ending for Champion was for all of the characters to die. What? That literally breaks my heart, and I'm actually so happy now knowing that how Champion ended. I'm like, I prefer Champion's ending over Marie Lu's possible ending that she thought of. I'm excited to get back to these characters a little bit and see what's going on. Cannot wait to get back into this world. The next one I have is More Than Words by Mia Sheridan. This I'm really hesitant to read because I haven't really heard amazing things about this either. And I wasn't a huge fan of Most of All You. I'm more curious to read her other romances, but this is the one that I have on my TBR shelf, and I feel like because I do want to read more by Mia Sheridan, I should go ahead and read this one. I believe this has to do with music and a second chance romance. I'm hoping I will be a little bit more emotionally attached to these characters compared to Most of All You, because that one I didn't really like any of the characters. So hopefully I will enjoy this one a little bit more than that one. And the last book that I have on this list for right now is Imagine Me by Sarah Mafi. This is book 6 in the Shatter Me series. I'm also super surprised that I haven't been spoiled on this because Twitter can be a brutal place. I think I'm scared I'm not gonna love it because I have heard mixed things about it. I've heard that like newer Shatter Me fans didn't like it, but older Shatter Me fans loved it. So I don't know how I'm gonna feel because I don't know what kind of Shatter Me fan I am. I'm sorry if the angle changed. I had to change my battery. But yeah, hopefully I can get to this one as soon as possible and see how I feel about this book and how I feel about the ending. I actually had 11 books on this list, by the way. I know I said 10 in the beginning, but I had 11 because I just couldn't pick. Also, like, if I really think about it, I actually had like 19 books that I was gonna have on this list because I just kept looking at my TBR shelf and I was like, I want to read that, I want to read that, I want to read that. I'm getting so inspired to read some of my physical books. I also just feel like recently, even though I obviously love romance and that is my main genre, I have definitely felt a little uninspired with some romances lately. You know when you kind of read one genre over and over and over again? Not that you get sick of it, but you get kind of bored of it. And I feel like right now that's kind of how I feel with romance, is that I think I need something else to kind of separate me from it. I think not that I need a break, because I will always read romance and that will always be my go-to. Even though I have a lot of YA on this list, I will definitely need some new adult or adult romance to mix in there. I think I kind of just need to read some other stuff right now, so I think that's why I'm feeling like really inspired to read some YA on my shelves and read some fantasy or something different. Yeah, hopefully you will see some of these books in my April wrap-up or my May wrap-up. Hopefully I can knock some of these books down. That would be really great. My TBR shelf is just really, really overflowing and it's making me anxious, but it's also kind of making me excited because I'm like, there's so many books on here that I want to read. I'm just feeling really excited about reading, which is nothing new, but like, I don't know, I'm excited for different reasons, I guess. So yeah, sorry for that little discussion at the end of this video, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have read any of these books that I talked about and what you thought of them. And let me know any books that you really want to read as soon as possible or some books that you kind of have on your radar. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, follow me on all my other social media, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!